The journey to cultivating a powerful and attractive calm begins with a single, crucial shift. You must silence the compulsive urge to explain yourself. This is the foundation. The first and most telling sign that a man is operating from a place of inner security rather than external validation. Most men are trapped in a cycle of justification, feeling an almost nervous need to account for their behavior, their time, and their silence. They offer up reasons for a delayed text message, elaborating on how busy work was. Or they clarify a casual comment, worried it might have been misinterpreted. On the surface, it looks like consideration, but in reality, it's insecurity wearing a mask. It screams that you are monitoring her perception of you, and that your peace is dependent on her approval. Every unsolicited explanation is a small admission that you are on trial, and that you require her to understand you in order to feel okay. A man grounded in a genuine masculine calm operates differently. He understands that his actions are their own justification. He communicates through what he does and the standards he keeps, not through a running commentary of excuses and reasons. If he is busy and doesn't reply for a few hours, he simply continues the conversation later without fanfare. He doesn't treat his own life as an interruption to his communication with her, but as the primary thing he is attending to. This communicates a fundamental self-respect. He operates from the premise that he is not accountable to her for every minute of his day. He is accountable to himself and his own purpose. This isn't about being rude or secretive. It's about possessing an inherent understanding that you are a complete person with a full life, and that requires no apology. When you stop explaining, you create space for mystery and, more importantly, for her to engage. If she is genuinely confused about something, she is free to ask. This shifts the dynamic from you proactively seeking her approval to her actively seeking to understand you. It invites her investment. Conversely, if she makes an assumption, a calm man is comfortable letting her sit with it. He doesn't rush in to correct her narrative or manage her emotions. This can feel counterintuitive, as the instinct is to control what she thinks of you. But the power lies in relinquishing that control. By not needing to dictate her perceptions, you demonstrate a profound confidence. You are essentially saying, through your inaction, sense of self is solid enough to withstand your potential misunderstandings. This is where the magic happens. The less you explain, the more her mind is engaged. When everything is laid bare and explained away, there is nothing left to discover. But when your actions stand alone, she is forced to interpret them, to wonder about your motivations, to piece together the puzzle of who you are. This active engagement on her part is what transforms simple interest into a deeper intrigue. She isn't just receiving information. She is participating in the process of understanding you. This cognitive and emotional investment is far more powerful than any perfectly crafted text message. It builds a connection that is rooted in her own curiosity and effort. The man who needs to explain himself is an open book, quickly read and easily set aside. The man who is comfortable in his own silence, whose actions speak with a quiet authority. It becomes a story she can't stop thinking about, because she is the one writing it in her mind. The conventional wisdom of attraction is built on a myth, the myth of pursuit. For generations, men have been taught that winning a woman's affection is a game of relentless chase, a test of persistence where the prize goes to the one who tries the hardest. This could not be further from the truth. In reality, constant chasing is not a display of strength. It is the most transparent advertisement of neediness. It communicates a devastating message. My value is not inherent. It is something I must earn from you. Your attention is the currency that validates my existence. This energy is instantly felt, and it is profoundly unattractive because it places the woman on a pedestal, transforming her from an equal partner into a goal to be attained. The chaser, by his very actions, admits he is beneath the one he pursues, creating an imbalance that suffocates any chance of genuine connection. The true antithesis to this desperate energy is not a different kind of action, but the power of purposeful inaction, stillness. Stillness is not passive or weak. It is an active state of being rooted in your own center. It is the decision to stand firmly in your own lane, tending to your own purpose, passions, and peace, regardless of who is watching. When you stop chasing, you are not giving up. You are making a declaration of independence. You are stating, through your calm presence, that your world is complete and compelling with or without her. This is not a tactic to make her want you. It is the authentic expression of a man who wants himself first. He is the source of his own validation. And that self-contained power is magnetic. This magnetism operates on a principle of gravity. Just as a planet's mass naturally draws objects into its orbit, a man who is solid, centered, and unmoved by the need for external approval creates an irresistible pull. He is not throwing out hooks or casting nets. He is simply being, and his very being becomes a point of attraction. Women are intuitively drawn to this energy because it promises stability. It suggests a man who will not be swayed by every passing storm. A man who can provide the emotional anchor in a chaotic world. Your stillness communicates that you are a rare Finda man who is not desperate, not reactive, and not easily shaken. This makes you unpredictable in the most compelling way. The man who chases is entirely predictable. His next move can be anticipated. But the man who is still, he becomes an enigma. She cannot guess his next move because he is not making moves toward her. He is moving within his own life, and she finds herself wanting to be invited into that space. This is the critical flip. By ceasing to chase, you stop positioning her as the prize, and instead become the prize yourself. The energy shifts from you seeking her approval to her seeking a place in your world. She starts to wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing that is so important, and why you seem so content without her constant validation. This curiosity is the seed of true attraction. It is no longer about what you can do for her, but about who you are. The chase, in its frantic energy, pushes her away, but stillness, in its quiet power, draws her in. It creates a vacuum that she feels compelled to fill. Not because you asked her to, but because the peace and purpose you radiate are things she instinctively wants to be near. You become not a suitor pleading his case, but a king in his own castle. And that is a man a woman will genuinely want to win. The dynamic between men and women often falls into a well-rehearsed, almost theatrical pattern. It is a dance of action and reaction, so predictable that both parties can often sense the next step before it's taken. She pulls away, creating distance to test the waters. He, in a panic, chases harder, flooding her with attention. She offers a challenge, a subtle test of his frame. He immediately becomes defensive, scrambling to explain himself. She grows cold or withdrawn. He overcompensates with gifts, affection, or dramatic declarations. This cycle is not born out of malice, but out of a deeply ingrained social script. For many women, it is what they have come to expect. It is a pattern that, while frustrating, is familiar. The man's reactivity confirms his emotional investment, but it also confirms that she holds the reins of the emotional dynamic. She sets the tone, and he follows. The introduction of genuine, unshakable calm shatters this entire script. It is the equivalent of an actor stepping onto the stage and refusing to speak his lines. The play grinds to a halt. When she pulls away, the calm man does not give chase. He simply holds his ground. He remains exactly where he was, engaged in his own purpose, living his own life, undisturbed. When she offers a test, a snarky comment, an attempt to provoke jealousy, a period of coldness, he does not flinch. He might smile lightly, acknowledge it without engagement, simply let the moment pass as if it were a breeze against a mountain. He offers no drama, no pleading, no emotional reaction. This non-reaction is not passive-aggressive. It is a profound display of strength. It communicates that his emotional state is not a puppet whose strings she can pull. His peace is internal, and therefore it is unassailable. The power of this interruption lies in its sheer unpredictability. By refusing to play his assigned part, the calm man forces her out of her own role. The entire dynamic, which was once a predictable loop, becomes uncharted territory. She is left with a void where expected reaction should be. This void is where the real shift occurs. Instead of her actions dictating his responses, his lack of response forces her to confront her own actions. The focus shifts from what is he going to do to why did I do that? She is no longer in control of the emotional thermostat because he has demonstrated that he is perfectly comfortable at any temperature. This can be momentarily disorienting for her, but it is ultimately deeply attractive. It demonstrates a strength of character that is rare. It shows that he is not easily manipulated by emotional stimuli, that his core self is solid and independent. This is where respect is forged. A reactive man is seen as volatile, his emotions like a weather vane spinning in the wind. A calm man is seen as a pillar, steadfast and reliable. When she realizes that her tests do not provoke him, that her moods do not dictate his, a fundamental sense of safety begins to develop. She understands that this is a man who will not be unraveled by life's challenges. A man who can handle her emotions without being consumed by them. He becomes a safe harbor, and in that safety, something powerful happens. She begins to let her guard down. The very tests that were meant to probe his strength become unnecessary because his strength has been proven through silence. The pattern is not just interrupted. It is rewritten entirely with a new, calm confidence, setting the rhythm for a healthier and more authentic connection. The modern world is a noisy place, and most people, men in particular, have developed a deep-seated anxiety around silence. They treat a lull in conversation like a vacuum that must be filled immediately, lest they be perceived as boring, uninterested, or weak. This fear manifests as a constant stream of words, jokes, questions, and anecdotes of performance designed to prove their worth and entertain. But this incessant noise is not a display of confidence. It is the sound of insecurity. It reveals a man who is uncomfortable in his own skin, who believes his mere presence is not enough, and that he must constantly do something to be valued. This frantic energy is felt immediately. It places a subtle pressure on the other person to respond, to validate, to keep the artificial momentum going. It is, in essence, a form of seeking approval through verbal acrobatics. A man who has cultivated a genuine calm understands a more profound truth. Your presence alone is the offering. There is no need to fill the space with sound because the space you occupy, when grounded in stillness, is already full. This is the essence of true presence. It is the ability to simply be with another person without the agenda of entertainment or the need for constant external validation. When a conversation naturally pauses, a calm man does not rush to rescue it. He is comfortable in the quiet. He might maintain gentle eye contact, offer a small, knowing smile, or simply allow the silence to hang in the air, unbothered. This comfort is not aloofness. It is a deep, unspoken confidence that communicates. I am complete as I am, and this moment we are sharing is enough. Even without words, this creates a powerful and often unfamiliar sense of emotional safety. It is within this safety that the true dynamic of interaction transforms. When a woman senses that you are not afraid of silence, that you are not performing for her, she instinctively begins to relax. The pressure to reciprocate the frantic energy evaporates. In the space you have held open with your calm, she feels permission to be more expressive herself. She will start to lean in, both physically and emotionally. She will fill the silence with her own thoughts, feelings, and vulnerabilities. Why? Because you have not crowded her. You have created a container of quiet trust where her authentic self can emerge without fear of being judged or interrupted. Your stillness gives her the room to breathe and to be heard, which is a far rarer and more valuable gift than any witty remark. This principle extends beyond conversation into the very atmosphere of a room. There is an unspoken law of social dynamics. Whoever controls the emotional tone controls the room. Most people are reactive. If someone is anxious, they become anxious. If someone is angry, they mirror the frustration. They are like emotional weather vanes, spinning with the prevailing winds of the group's mood. A calm man is different. He is the emotional barometer. He sets the tone. When he walks into a room with a centered, clear-headed, and peaceful energy, he becomes a gravitational center. The reactive emotions of others begin to calibrate to his stable frequency. If she is frustrated or anxious, and you meet her energy with reactivity, you have ceded control. You have confirmed that her turmoil dictates the reality of the situation. But if you meet her chaos with unwavering calm, something remarkable happens. Your steadiness becomes a silent invitation to de-escalate. She will, often subconsciously, start to soften, to slow her breathing, to match your quieter tone. This is leadership in its most potent, nonverbal form. It is not about barking orders or forcing your will. It is about holding a space of peace so consistently that others naturally gravitate toward it. By not reacting to the emotions around you, you begin to lead them, creating a sanctuary of stillness in a world of noise. The final and most profound transformation occurs when the principles of calm are put to the ultimate test. In any meaningful dynamic, tests are inevitable. They are not necessarily conscious or malicious acts. They are instinctive probes, deeply ingrained behaviors designed to answer fundamental questions about a man's character. A woman might challenge you with a sharp comment, create distance to gauge your response, or subtly test your boundaries to see if you hold your frame. This is a primal assessment of strength, a way to determine if you are a source of stability or a source of drama. The landscape is littered with men who fail these tests the moment they begin. They take the bait, becoming defensive, argumentative, or needy. They try to logic their way out of an emotional probe, or worse, crumble entirely, seeking to appease and pacify. In doing so, they answer the test definitively. They are reactive. Their emotional state is fragile. Their center can be easily shaken. The calm man understands the true nature of these moments. He recognizes a test not as a personal attack, but as an opportunity. It is her way of asking, "Are you for real?" And his response is his answer. He does not flinch. When met with a challenge, he might offer a slight, amused smile,
Acknowledging the comment without taking ownership of its negative energy.
He might simply let the remark hang in the air, refusing to validate it with a reaction. Or he might respond with a light, confident answer that deflects the test while maintaining his composure. The content of his response is less important than the energy behind it. Unbothered, solid, and self-assured. By not reacting emotionally, he communicates a monumental truth. His sense of self-worth is not up for debate. It is not contingent on her approval or subject to her whims. He is anchored in something deeper. No external provocation can destabilize him. This is the moment where infatuation transforms into genuine, lasting attraction. When a woman sees that she cannot easily shake you, that your peace is unassailable, she experiences a profound sense of emotional safety. She realizes that this is a man who can handle the complexities of her emotions without being overwhelmed, a man who can provide a steady harbor in life's storms. This safety is the bedrock of trust and intimacy. But it goes even further. The consistency of your calm in the face of her unpredictability creates a subtle but powerful addiction. You become a reliable source of stability in a chaotic world, and the human psyche is drawn to such consistency. She becomes not just attracted to you, but attached to the feeling you create, the feeling of peace. This leads to the ultimate reversal of the chase. The entire dynamic pivots on the axis of your stillness. When you cease all desperate action, when you stop trying to impress, when you no longer seek constant reassurance about the status of the relationship, when you are perfectly content within your own world, a vacuum is created. Nature abhors a vacuum, and human emotion is no exception. The less you do, the more she is compelled to do. Your inaction creates space for her action. She begins to initiate contact, to seek your approval, to wonder what you're thinking, and to invest more deeply in securing your attention. This is not a manipulative trick. It is a natural law of energy. Feminine energy is drawn to masculine direction and stability. By being the still, unmovable point, you become the center around which the dance can occur. She is no longer being pursued. She is being drawn in by the gravitational pull of your self-contained wholeness. You stop being the suitor and become the destination. The chase is over not because you won her, but because she arrived, willingly and authentically. At the peace, you effortlessly embodied.